It's not just a mind thing, it's a physical thing. I mean, when we were criticized, verbally or otherwise, we held in a response to that criticism.
We all want to have great lives and great love lives, but every so often we end up with this little voice in our head that tells us that we're no good or that what we're doing isn't right. It's this inner critic, right, that makes us doubt ourselves. How can we silence that inner critic and kind of refocus ourselves into doing something better?
I think it's a mistake to think that you're going to silence the inner critic. I think a lot of us spend time thinking that that's what is going to give us relief. But what we really find is that engaging with the inner critic and confronting it, actually getting to know it and to stop taking it so seriously, right? Like there's something about that critical voice that we all say, oh, that's the voice of truth or reality. And give it a lot of emphasis. And so by engaging with it, by being curious, and I like to have my clients like play with the critic, where if we're going to do something like visioning, where it's like, okay, we're going to imagine the future and it's just purely what you want. And that's something that stirs up the critic, right? Because they're like, oh no, don't go there. And I'll say, you know what? Why don't you send the critic on vacation to Paris for 2 weeks so that we can focus on you have this space to be and do what you want. So yeah, I think you have to play with it and engage with it, not try to ignore it and flatten it out.
There's a lot of really good science, biology behind what you're saying there. We have most of our conditioning, most of our self-criticism comes from our conditioning in a variety of different ways. We actually learn to see who we are by the mirror of our parents. If that mirror is somewhat distorted, then we have a distorted view of ourselves, and that's what keeps popping up. So all that conditioning went in automatically in the middle part of the brain. And then we gradually, as we mature, we gain the ability to self-reflect and develop more of the prefrontal cortex of the brain. And by articulating what your inner critic is saying, just by articulating it, giving words to it, or writing it down, or engaging it in conversation like you're saying, what you're doing there is connecting the front part of the brain to the middle part of the brain. You're bringing light of your adult self that knows everything's cool, you're fine, you're wonderful, but this part of the brain doesn't know that yet. Just by articulating what the critic is saying, you are bringing the wisdom of your adult self to that, and it begins to dissipate. And so you have a chance to be free of that.
Absolutely, I entirely agree with you. I have done some more research. It's not even childhood, it's even beyond that. We have taken the person to sperm consciousness, and when the sperm was going to fertilize the egg, at that time, it knew that whether he is an accepted child or not. So even that consciousness at that time, when the egg is going to be formed, and the information which is coming, and at that time when the spirit descends, so that's the experience of threesome. So there, three different things are uniting, and that becomes, and plus it's the person's role in life. So all those things influence our life, our thoughts, and our adult life. So we need to do lots and lots of awareness, lots of self meditation on self.
Sure, and I love what you both had to say. You talking about reflection of parents, you going back even pre-childhood to kind of facing some of the self-doubt. Do you folks feel that there's something to be said for how the media influences our inner critic? How we are constantly putting ourselves online with feelings of inadequacy and comparing ourselves, even at a subconscious level, to everybody around us? Does that fuel our inner critic?
One of the things that comes to mind is that understanding all of the sources of your critic, when you sort of internalize those voices, they came from somewhere, and you have feelings in response to those critics. And I think that part of stilling the critics, that critical voice, the critics, is allowing the emotion out. It's not just a mind thing, it's a physical thing. I mean, when we were criticized, verbally or otherwise, we held in a response to that criticism, or contained a response to what we experienced as a criticism. And I think it's important to allow the body to get that out, discharge the energy that we hold, that the critic is fueled by.
Very, very important. You identify the voices, you identify your reaction to those voices, and then the voice becomes a reassuring, for loving parent giving you the support you deserve. Nice little process there.
Right, that support.
Don't push against your inner critic, embrace it, deal with it, and then dispel it in a constructive way. So, excuse me, yes, you out there, you are worthy exactly as you are with all your imperfections.